My name is Alex, and just a few weeks ago, my closest friend Emily came to me in tears, her hands shaking as she showed me the messages. A guy she'd trusted online was threatening to blast her private photos all over the internet because she got cold feet about meeting him. But I wasn't about to let that slide. As her friend and an attorney, I turned detective, pieced together his entire life in under an hour, and made sure he'd regret every word. If you've ever felt that burning rage when someone you care about gets hurt, or dreamed of delivering perfect payback to a bully hiding behind a screen, smash that like button right now, subscribe with notifications on, and let's jump into this story of sweet, calculated revenge. It all started innocently enough, or so Emily thought. We'd been friends since college, the kind who could finish each other's sentences and share secrets without a second thought. Emily was smart, vibrant, with this infectious laugh that lit up any room, but like anyone, she had her vulnerabilities. After a rough breakup, she dipped her toes into online dating, chatting with people from around the world to feel a spark again. That's how she met him. Let's call him Mark, based on the first name he gave her. He seemed charming at first, with a smooth accent in his voice messages and stories about his exciting job that took him traveling. He wasn't in the US, but he mentioned he'd be heading our way soon for work, and they started making loose plans to meet up. Emily, being cautious but hopeful, shared a bit more than she should have. Some flirty pictures, nothing extreme, but personal enough that the thought of them leaking made her stomach twist into knots. She trusted him because he seemed genuine. He'd sent her photos of himself, his motorcycle gleaming in the sun, even snaps from his office to prove he was who he said. But then the red flags popped up. His messages got pushy, possessive, like he owned her time. One night, after a long day, she told him she wasn't feeling it anymore and wanted to back out. His response? Ice cold. "If you ghost me, I'll make sure everyone sees what a tease you are," he typed, followed by threats to post her pictures on every site imaginable. Emily's heart pounded as she read it, her face going pale in the glow of her phone screen. She felt exposed, violated, like the walls were closing in. She didn't sleep that night, pacing her apartment, the city lights flickering through her blinds like mocking eyes. The next morning she called me, her voice cracking over the line. "Alex, I screwed up," she whispered, and as she spilled the details, I felt a fire ignite in my chest. How dare this coward hide behind anonymity and terrorize her? I'd seen enough cases in my law practice to know threats like this weren't just words. They were weapons, designed to control and humiliate. Emily was like a sister to me. No way was I letting this slide. "Send me everything," I told her, my jaw clenched. Screenshots, pictures he sent, all of it. "We'll handle this." As an attorney, I knew the law was on our side. Revenge porn threats across borders? That's not just creepy, it's criminal, especially with Emily in the US. But first I needed to unmask this guy. He thought he was safe with just a first name, a screen name, and vague details about his location and job. Big mistake. I sat at my desk that evening, coffee steaming beside me, the hum of my computer the only sound in my quiet home office. Starting with his screen name, I punched it into search engines, cross-referencing social platforms. TikTok popped up first, a profile with short videos of him riding his bike, laughing with friends. The username matched perfectly. From there, a link in his bio led to Instagram, where his full name stared back at me, bold as day. My pulse quickened as I dug deeper. Instagram photos showed him at events, tagged with locations that pinpointed his city abroad. Then jackpot, a LinkedIn profile with the same name, listing his company and role. It matched the branded polo shirt in a photo he'd sent Emily, the logo crisp and unmistakable. I leaned back in my chair, a grim smile forming. This idiot had left a digital breadcrumb trail a mile long. But I wasn't stopping there. I scoured for more. His motorcycle pic had the license plate fully visible, like he didn't even think to blur it. A quick reverse search tied it to his address. Then the real gems, screenshots from their chats where he bragged about a workplace drama, time-stamped and detailed. He even admitted to hooking up with an ex in the office, laughing it off like it was no big deal, and floated ideas about doing the same with Emily. My blood boiled reading those. This wasn't just a jilted guy. He was reckless, unprofessional, a liability waiting to explode. And then there was the photo of his work laptop, screen wide open with his Outlook calendar, meetings, and what looked like sensitive company data. All to prove he was too busy for her sometimes. Foolish. He'd also snapped pictures of his office, co-workers in the background without a clue, their faces clear as day, violation after violation. I compiled it all methodically, my fingers flying over the keyboard, the clock ticking away. 45 minutes. That's all it took to build an ironclad case against him. Emily checked in via text, her messages anxious. Any luck? I replied. More than luck. We've got him. But I kept the details light. She didn't need the stress. Instead, I focused on the next step, making him pay. As her legal representative, I drafted an email that night, professional but scorching, addressed to the CEO, VP of HR, operations manager, and PR head. Emails I'd found through company directories and a bit more sleuthing. The subject line? Urgent, employee misconduct and criminal threats. Inside, I laid it out like a courtroom exhibit. Screenshots of his threats, tied directly to his username and the photo in his company polo. Links to his social profiles proving identity. The motorcycle plate as extra confirmation. Those workplace sex admissions, the proprietary info leak, the unauthorized office photos. I didn't hold back. This individual has engaged in extortion and threats constituting revenge porn, a serious crime. I wrote, my words sharp and unyielding. Furthermore, his actions expose your company to liability for data breaches and workplace harassment. Then the hammer. Since he'd bragged about traveling to the US soon, I'd be forwarding everything to local law enforcement there, and the FBI here. As Emily was a US citizen, this crossed into federal territory. Should you continue his employment and send him stateside, I added, expect federal agents at the airport. And I meant it. One of my law school pals is an assistant US attorney in our district. A quick call to him confirmed they'd take it seriously. Hitting send felt electric, a surge of adrenaline rushing through me like I'd just won a trial. I pictured Mark's face when his bosses called him in. The confusion turning to panic, his smug world crumbling. Emily hugged me the next day when I told her, tears of relief streaming down her cheeks. You saved me, she said, her voice steady for the first time in days. But I wasn't done. With his plate number confirming his address, I planned to tip off his local authorities tomorrow, letting the law close in from all sides. The payoff came faster than I expected. Though I can't share every detail, ongoing investigations and all, let's just say the company's response was swift. Whispers from mutual connections hinted at an emergency meeting, HR scrambling, and Mark suddenly on leave. His social profiles went dark overnight, like he'd vanished into the ether. Emily finally slept soundly, the weight lifted from her shoulders, while I felt a deep, satisfying calm. Justice wasn't just served, it was delivered with precision. Looking back, it's a reminder that anonymity online is an illusion, especially when you mess with the wrong people. Karma doesn't always need a push, but sometimes, a friend's fierce loyalty gives it one. What do you think? Was this revenge too far, or just right? If this tale of turning the tables left you fist-pumping or gave you that rush of satisfaction, hit like, drop a comment below with your own revenge story or what you'd do in Emily's shoes, and subscribe for more raw, real Reddit revenges that hit hard. Turn on notifications so you never miss an epic takedown. Thanks for watching, stay safe out there.